Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about week 2 of BMT. Week 2. So we're already moving along. This week, everyone says after you get past this week, the weeks fly by. This week you're going to have a lot of classes. You are basically going to be going through everything, not everything, but you will knock out a lot of chapters in this book during week 2. So basically your day will start, you'll have PT like usual, everything is kind of the same at this point now. You have PT in the morning, you go back to your dorm, you're showering, you eat breakfast, and then you set up the dorm for the day, and then you leave for classes. That was pretty much the whole week 2. You went through different classes. Actually, the week started off on Sunday. This was our first time without an MTI. So our dorm chief was in charge of, they basically gave the dorm chief a timeline of everything they wanted done in the dorm and when it had to be done by. Sundays you'll love because, like I said, your MTI is not there. It is more relaxed than it otherwise would be because your dorm chief is basically just going to tell you guys, hey, we got to do this, 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 this. You'll make sure everything gets done, and then the rest of the time you can use to do RLAs and study. So that's what we did. We made sure that all our stuff got done. And then in the morning time on Sundays, and then the rest of the day we basically used to do studying. You would talk, you would actually, it's funny because you would see like different groups around beds and you're talking with your friends that you're making and stuff, and you're just talking about life outside of the military and kind of stuff you used to do. We talked about music, just anything, and basically to take your mind off of being there. Week 2, we also got our patio break. So there's a patio area with a vending machine. With like chips, cookies, ice cream, soda, and you get to go out there and you can use the vending machines. You can write letters, you can eat junk food, whatever's in the vending machines. So that was really cool. The first one, I just used the time to write letters because I didn't want to eat junk food because I hadn't had it and I didn't want it to mess up with my PT or like just make me sick because my body wasn't used to it. But people were getting like ice cream and just, they enjoyed themselves. It was a nice time to decompress and use that time to just write letters and relax a little bit. The next day we had details for a detailed day. So our first one was kitchen duty. So basically the whole flight was split up into different groups, and half the flight went to Airman's Week and then the other half went to Disneyland. I was in the first half of the flight that went to Airman's Week. So we woke up early, I think at like 0330, 0400, and Airman's Week from where our squadron is across the street. So we just had to march across the street and we were already there. And this was our first glimpse at what we were going to be going into. Keep in mind, we're in week 2. Airman's Week is considered week 8 of BMT. So you have week 7 and you graduate, and then the next week is Airman's Week. That's still part of BMT. So it's actually week 8. So we were looking at what was ahead for us. So it was actually really nice. The dining facility is so nice. It's like a cafe style type dining facility. So it's really nice. They had soda machines, they had Gatorade, it was really nice. The food, it seemed to me like it was better than at BMT. And then the biggest thing that we noticed was that you could actually talk and interact with the people that you were sitting with. I don't know if you guys, I will leave a link below to this video of what it's like to eat at the DEFAC. Normally in BMT, there's no talking. Like, you're not talking at all. There's none of that. So it's actually kind of cool to see what it's like after afterwards, after you've made it that far. So we had kitchen duty, and then the next day we had classes again the whole day. Nothing changed. We woke up, set up the dorm, had PT, and then classes the whole day. Thursday, we actually had our first RLA appraisal. So this is where the MTI is going to go through and they're going to open up your wall locker. They're going to open up your drawer to make sure that you have everything set up how they showed you. They're going to make sure that your hanger spacing is right, that you clipped all the strings that are on your uniform. It's hung on the hanger correctly, everything's folded correctly. So this is where they're going to go through and make sure that you actually have everything set up. It's an appraisal, so it's not, if you fail it, nothing bad will happen. But it kind of lets you know what you need to improve on for your final appraisal, because if you fail that, I believe if you fail it 3 times, you end up getting recycled back a week, and the final appraisal will be in the 6th week. And this week I actually got my first letter from home. And I'm gonna tell you guys, getting letters from home is like the best feeling ever, because you're going through something that's, you're used to be at home with your family, you have your family, you're used to being with them or talking to them and seeing them, and then they're just gone. They're gone, and you're at a whole new place. So it's really like having a letter, even though you can't hear their voice, just knowing that they're there and they're thinking about you, it really means a lot. So I still have my letters, and I will keep them forever, because it's emotional, because you're going through something so stressful, and then just hearing from your family kind of makes it better, and you will look forward to the end of the day where the MTI passes out letters, and it's like the best feeling ever when he says your name and you got a letter. The only other thing that happened in week 2 was that we lost a person in our flight. They actually ended up going to Medhold, which is a different squadron for people if you get injured or something happens where you're not able to continue on with training. So they have like an injured section, and then also like if you don't pass your PT test in week 6, or if you don't pass your PT test in week 6, they send you to Medhold, because there's a Get Fit program where basically you're just doing PT all day, so you can retest and be able to pass your PT test hopefully and graduate. The rest of the week, we just basically did drill and practice marching and doing different things. We had some more classes. And also on that Friday, we got our name tapes, which are
a few moments later.
Which this is a huge milestone. So the name tape is like this part on your uniform. So like that, we got your last name, and then the US, if it'll focus, the US Air Force part on your uniform. So up until this point, you can tell the older week flights because they will have their names on their uniforms. And it's a good and a bad thing. It's good because you know that they're at least in the 3rd week or higher, and that they've made it, you can make it too. But it's also kind of bad because if you do something wrong, the MTIs know that you're in a higher week flight and that you should basically know what you're doing by this point. But I was really excited about that we got them, and that we were going to be able to have them sewn onto our uniforms in week 3 actually. So week 2 basically is just classes. You'll practice more drill, and you will have your first PC or your RLA appraisal on your wall locker and your clothing drawer, and making sure that everything's up to speed. My next video, week 3, we'll be talking about everything that happens in week 3. Week 3 was actually really awesome for me too, because not only, like I said, we got our name tape sewn on, but we also got our blues that week, which are really nice. They're really nice. I think they're kind of one of the better of the dress uniforms out of the branches, personally. But I'm kind of biased because I am in the Air Force. But stay tuned for my next video where we'll be talking about what happens in week 3 of BMT. We'll see you then. Thanks, guys.